Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Back already. This is part 2 for our episode on stablecoins, on the cdxUSD stablecoin. The last episode we talked about facilitators and kind of introed cdxUSD as a very scalable stablecoin and being able to export it across a bunch of DeFi ecosystems. So we're going to pick that up and talk about AMOs and maybe a bit of peg stability and some yield opportunities that can arise with cdxUSD. So the first thing is AMOs. It stands for algorithmic market operation. And so Bibis, can you explain generally what an AMO is for people hearing that term for the first time?
Sure. So the term AMO, I believe, was coined by Frax, who frankly pioneered a lot of the concepts that will be driving cdxUSD. Shout out Sam and co. With AMOs, really what we gain is a means of issuing lines of credit that are governed by a set of parameters algorithmically. So algorithmic market operations are ways for DeFi protocols to maintain a strict risk profile while issuing lines of credit all over the place. And if you watch the last episode, I'm not going to get too deep into that. You should know all the different types of credit lines we can issue. But really, DeFi is cool because we can power this huge network of lending and borrowing and credit, CDP, infrastructure, et cetera, all defined by algorithms and all defined by the various control mechanisms that govern the protocol, which frankly is awesome. So again, to sum up, an AMO is an algorithmically defined line of credit that is able to interact with the broader market using our stablecoin.
It's a set of rules, essentially, that make it safe to issue these lines of credit and make it sort of possible, I guess. Let's do an example, or let's talk about an example of an AMO using an AMM. So there's an AMO called the liquidity AMO, and I actually have a graphic here to complement. But can you tell me what a liquidity AMO is? And I'll pull up this graphic, and people can see what you're talking about.
AMMs are awesome, and they're awesome because they have a very well-defined means of pricing assets and issuing tokens to users and accepting tokens from users. And so with a liquidity AMO, which is kind of going to be the main driver of growth for cdxUSD, especially in the early stages, we are able to create tokens with theoretically infinite liquidity or an arbitrary amount of liquidity. And that's because in certain cases where the token is issued 100% to the pool, doesn't have inflation, and all issuance is done through the pool, we know that demand for cdxUSD from this pool is only going to go up because there are no tokens in circulation. And so using the rules of the AMM, as people desire this token on the other side and speculate on this token on the other side, they will be pushed through the cdxUSD liquidity pool to buy cdxUSD in order to speculate on this token or purchase this token for utility's sake. And therefore, what we have is we have a really deeply liquid token on one hand, and on the other hand, a means of growing the supply of cdxUSD. And what this means practically is, if you look at a meme coin, for example, or a token launch, it seems kind of niche that 100% of the liquidity is issued via this pool, but that's the most popular use case for tokens in the business right now. And an issue we see with meme coins is, users speculating on them or engaging with them are often given really bad risk return. It's like a lottery ticket. And that's great. Like, a lot of people are looking for that sort of risk profile. But with a cdxUSD liquidity AMO, the risk can be whatever you want it to be. So if you want to launch a token with, zero liquidity or $1 of liquidity in the entire supply and just have hyper volatility, sure, you can do that. And that will suck a lot of cdxUSD into the pool. But if you want a token with $100 billion of cdxUSD liquidity, it doesn't matter to us. Really all that matters is what is the use case, what is your audience, and where can we go from there? And using AMM logic, we can ensure that everything remains fully collateralized. And the only thing that's happening to the cdxUSD liquidity is growth and improvement in liquidity conditions overall. So we're really in love with this use case for cdxUSD, and we're going to be using the absolute heck out of it to help other teams launch tokens, to launch tokens ourselves, and to create platforms through which users can kind of really dial in the risk return of some of these, tokens or assets that they're pushing onto the market.
This is such a perfect example of the power that the design of cdxUSD gives you, where like being able to push it into any market, into any sort of corner of DeFi, basically at will. Whereas previously, with a stablecoin like IUSD or like ERN, reserve stablecoin, to get any supply into the market, you have to put down a bunch of collateral. And even operating our treasury, if we want to seed a pool, we can't just, freely mint ERN into something like an AMO and just, let it, sort of front run the scalability problem. We have to put down collateral. We have to mint stablecoin ourselves, and kind of jump through a bunch of hoops and spend a bunch of money to get any of kind of the power that cdxUSD gives us and other protocols in DeFi and users as well. So I'll stop sharing this, and let's switch gears a little bit to focus on cdxUSD holders, and maybe what cdxUSD as a vehicle for yields, and maybe like in the example we gave in the first video, if someone's borrowing it on Aave, let's say they borrow it for really cheap, and they want to earn some yield with it. Will there be cdxUSD staking, and kind of how does that work, and how can people earn yield with Cod3x?
Sure, totally. So there are going to be a lot of ways to interact with cdxUSD, and I'm not going to get deep into the way we keep peg. Basically, we're looking at a stable swap pool, and we're looking at the weight of asset one, asset two being cdxUSD, in order to determine interest rates. So what that means is, users who stake cdxUSD for staked cdxUSD or whatever we end up calling it, will essentially be able to access yield from our peg keeper module. So the peg keeper is a concept we borrowed from the Curve team, wherein we have a pool that sells cdxUSD into the market when it's over peg, and buys cdxUSD from the market when it's under peg. And this is all powered by AMM mechanics. And not only will this pool have really deep liquidity and users will be able to access it and interact with it, but it will also drive our peg stability as both a liquidity source and as a source of information for our PID controller, which, as the pool becomes unbalanced one way or the other, will adjust interest rates to ensure users are, buying or selling or interacting with the protocol in an optimal way. And frankly, staking your cdxUSD will earn you quite a bit of yield. and when it's over peg, it'll give you a ton of yield. So it's a really exciting
I think
growth
that's
and
probably
yield
the
opportunity.
most succinct I've ever heard you. I should just ask really broad questions, and then you have to take the most simple approach to the answer. But no, that was well summarized. And I guess the bottom line is you'll be able to stake cdxUSD, and it's going to earn a pretty attractive yield for a stable coin. Borrowing that PegKeeper feature from Curve USD is really cool. And Codex USD, like the whole design of it is kind of bringing the best parts of a bunch of really popular stablecoins, decentralized stablecoins in DeFi, and packaging it all into like a really, really powerful model. So I'd say that was a really good summary. You should know what AMOs are at this point. And I think that kind of covers everything I wanted to talk about cdxUSD. Is there anything I missed, Beavis? Anything you want to add before we close out the part 2?
Sure. I mean, I guess I'll kind of tease that we're working on a lot of really interesting novel AMOs and building out the tech to drive them. Being able to stake an RWA, or being able to stake USDC, or being able to stake another kind of popular stablecoin and farm a two-sided pool with cdxUSD. All of these things are in the works. And, we want this to be the ultimate credit instrument for DeFi, and, Curve, Frax, even MakerDAO, all of these kind of predecessors. We're borrowing from them, taking inspiration from them, and pushing the tech forward in our own right. So make sure you read their research. Please read our research as well. And we look forward to a world where all of you have a little bit of cdxUSD.
Hell yeah.
But that's all I've got for now.
Thank you all for watching again. And we are going to continue this series with some talks about interest rate models, and I guess maybe what you're all waiting for, which is a discussion about the Codex app itself. So stay tuned for more episodes, and thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your week, as always.